That's the moment we all wanted. Obviously, the weather wasn't the way we wanted it to be, but I mean, like I say, first game we got a lot to learn from. We get to look at the film in 30 minutes to an hour to see what we could be better at. So I'll probably have a couple more answers after that. So.
When it comes to your connectivity with Drake, how do you see that evolve in week two? Where do you want to see it progress overall offensively?
I think the connection was good. It always can be better, but it goes back to practice. Practicing Wednesday full padded day, getting full speed looks, and then coming in Thursday and just getting it back together. So I mean, we got 2-3 opportunities to work on that. It'll be better for week two.
What's the pulse of this locker room right now heading into next week?
No, tough loss. Obviously, I think everybody feel the same way, but just got to be better next week. I think we all know what we need to do, so it's just a matter of getting it done.
Even though you've been at this all your life, good to get that first game out of the way and kind of get a feel for what you need to do now.
Yeah, it's always nervousness first game out, but like I said, I think I handled the rain well. That was kind of the thing I was worried about. I don't really too much like the rain games, but just focusing on the ball more, so I think that was good.
I think you like the heat, right?
Yeah. I'm from Louisiana, so the heat's always great.
You looking forward to Sunday?
Yeah.
In what ways going up against a team that you know and divisional opponent?
Like you said, divisional opponent. So I mean, it's a big game. Go back to the team too. Obviously, we know what we need to do. So I think we got 6 days to game day. So just gotta lock in, focus.
I know you worked really hard this offseason from an individual performance perspective. You feel like that game was your hard work paying off?
Yeah. Like you say, we've been working since OTAs, going into training camp, and now just transferring training camp to the field. So I think that's been great to see.
Kayshon, do you feel like people are still sleeping on your talent?
I think what I would say, I think people fail to realize that at one point in time I was a first round pick. So just before my surgery, I think a lot of people doubt that I can do what I do. But I mean, I always knew what I can do. But to some people, it is a surprise. But to me, it's always what I used to do.
So pick you up in fantasy football for those
Yeah, if you want, you can.
You still view yourself as a first round pick?
Listen, we in the NFL now, so the pick stuff don't matter. It's all about competition. It's even skills everywhere you go. So.
Do you have an idea of what's your ceiling when it comes to what you want to accomplish?
I think just as far as ceiling, I take it week by week. I try to stay away from the predictions because you get too caught up in you need to do this, you need to do that. I'm more of a just let it play out kind of guy. So. Yeah.
Thank you.
In the summer and just competing in that safety room, it seems like there's been some changes, but being able to show what you can do, what was that like?
Oh man, it was cool to just come in and be with the same guys I was with last year. That was the fun part, to connect even more. And, we drive each other every day and compete with each other and help each other out. It was, we was building a brotherhood back there in the bond, with Pep, Doug, even C. Wood, Ebbs, Mink, everybody who was there. It's, things fall apart as OTAs and camp goes on. But it was just a good time just going out there competing daily and having fun and learning from each other and just getting better for real,
What did you feel like you were able to show the coaching staff?
I just, show them who I am, just as a person, player, and I go out there every day with my hard hat and, let God do what He does, and that's really it. I just focus on what I can control, and I can control myself and how I showed up and my attitude and effort, and that's just what I try to do every day.
What needs to happen now going into Miami, and how much are you already looking forward to that opportunity?
Oh, for sure. I mean, today we got clean up. Today, tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Look in the mirror day. Clean that up first and foremost before we move on. And then as soon as we done with the tape, man, flush it. You know what I'm saying? And go on a divisional opponent and hone in on the details and take advantage and try to come out with a win, for sure.
Where do you feel like you improved the most in the offseason, would you say?
I always focus on different points of my game. There's different things, from the knowledge standpoint, from a movement standpoint, coverage standpoint. So I try to hone in on all those little things. And, I feel like year to year I always improve on something or improve as a whole, just from experience and everything like that. So just from the off season, I looked at what my faults were last year and things I can improve on and try to improve on that.
What's your comfort level with Craig out there?
It was cool, man. It was good. He handled himself real well, communicated real well. I was out there talking, didn't let the big crowd and big noises get to him, but he did his thing. It's only built. We only could build from here and build that chemistry and that connection. It's cool that we have a connection from being at Cal together, and stuff like that. So there's some chemistry there and knowing each other for a while and talking to each other for a minute. So yeah, it's just about just building, and W. That's just the main thing. So.
Thanks.
Y'all good?
Appreciate it.
Obviously, you want to run the ball a little bit more, be more balanced. I think the biggest thing is just playing complementary football. When our defense gets stops like that and we get the ball on a short field, being able to convert, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, just to get points on the board. Even with the kickoff return that Antonio Gibson had, you get the ball on the 40-yard line, like you got to get points on the board. So, but I think the identity, I think when you look at the film is that, the identity that we want to play with is there. We played all the way to the end, but obviously, you want to leave with a win. So, we got to look ourselves in the mirror and obviously correct some things and do the things that we did really good, make those things better, and the things that we didn't do so well, make those better as well.
I know you've worked as a mentor for Will, and I'm not asking you to comment specifically on his play, but what do you tell a rookie after a second half like that? It seemed, from upstairs, he had a bit of a rough stretch there in the second half.
It happens. I mean, whether you're year 1, year 12, like you're going to go through phases in the game. Like they get paid just like we do. And it's for you to be the professional that you are and to kind of hone back onto techniques and things like that. But I told him, I said, look, my first start was against Alden Smith. So it happens, but you learn from that, and I think game 1 is always the hardest, right? Because when you look at film, like people are playing vanilla looks, not giving you too much information. So you get out there on Sundays and see some things that you probably didn't see on tape. And you got to go out there and block them. So I think, overall, I think both of those guys, young guys on the other side, they took a step forward. And obviously, they're going to get challenged every week being a young side. But they, I know, mentally and physically they're prepared to do that.
You've been at this for a while, Morgan. How do you get the run game to where you want to be? Is it just reps together? How does it work?
Yeah, it's just reps, man. Reps together and then obviously having confidence in it, for us is, obviously the game went the way it did, but obviously you won when you got three-headed monster back there, and the running backs and skills that we have. You want to get the ball into your best players, and obviously we'll do that moving forward, and we'll continue just sharpening ourselves. Obviously we got great opportunities to go against our defense this week, who played a hell of a game. I thought, they had stretches where they forced the pocket, forced the ball out, and things like that. So we get to go against those guys every day. So we'll be challenged, and we'll be prepared to step up.
Morgan, along those lines, what are the keys to have an effective screen game? And yesterday, the Raiders well prepared for it. What's the difference between execution?
It's hard to say. Obviously, you try to prepare for certain looks and things like that, but sometimes it just happens like that. Obviously they were prepared for them. Whatever looks that we're getting, they were prepared for them, and that's kudos to them. They did the film study to be able to study and have those looks, and but it's for us to get and execute. Whether it's the first guy out to get the hugger, the man that's on man-to-man, whatever the case is, we got to execute those things, and that's a part of our game that we can take to another level, and that's a part of our game of getting the ball into our playmakers' hands. So I think it just takes all 11 to be balanced and get the thing going.
Morgan, what did they do well against the run specifically?
I think they just, just looking at the film, man, the backers played really well downhill. Obviously Devin White's been around for a long time. And then, they came in with Jamal Adams, who has always been a fiery plug in this NFL. But I think, we just got to continue getting a hat on the hat. And, hopefully those 2-yard runs turn into 5, and then those 5-yard runs turn into 10, and then we get the ball moving.
That going down south isn't easy. How much do you look forward to flushing this one, correcting what you corrected, having an opportunity in week 2?
Man, it's a long season, it's week 1, and it's obviously it's the first time all 11 of us have played together, so just obviously shaking this one off, going through the film, being honest about your approach, what you can do better as in your one-on-ones as a person, as a football player, as a professional, bring that into this week, and getting ready for a team, man. Getting ready for a team is that's hungry like us. So being able to do those things and execute, it's going to be big for us this week.